Hello and welcome back to NJCDC's The Loft. My name is Stephen Ostos, a student at Compete for Life at JFK High School, and I'm here with my friend Ronaldo.
Hello, my name is Reynaldo, and I'm also a student in Compete for Life at JFK.
And in today's episode, we will be going over the popular video game franchise, which you may or may not have heard, Pokémon.
And Pokémon is a world where these different creatures who can evolve into different forms pretty much live with humanity. And there's different ones with different elemental powers, so fire, water, electricity, grass, or like I say earth, I guess.
Yeah.
And they all live with humans.
And like in this world, you get a thing called a Pokeball where you use to capture these creatures and you use them to fight against other people in tournaments and stuff like that. And you can actually evolve these Pokemon into stronger forms. A little more background on Pokemon. It actually started off as 2 video games on the Game Boy in February of 1996, followed by the trading card game in October of the same year. So we're going to be diving into the trading card game, the shows, and the games, like all in this video. So I guess to start things off, how did you get introduced to Pokemon?
I got introduced to Pokemon from a YouTuber named Unlisted Leaf. And what he would do would just unbox a bunch of booster packs, Pokemon tin like boxes, and just review all the cards that are in there. And with these cards, they come in a thing called the booster pack, which if you don't know, that's like 10 cards, and in any pack you can get the card that you really want, or sometimes you won't get that card at all.
Like all randomized.
Yeah, they're all random essentially.
The way I got introduced to Pokemon is by one of the first series, which is actually based on the first 2 games, Pokemon Indigo League, which follows Ash and his journey to become like the strongest and best Pokemon trainer. And it's actually based on like the first generation of Pokemon. Generations comes from the fans of the franchise who made up the name for each new wave of Pokemon that comes out every year, because they're still pumping out new Pokemon, and there's currently 9 generations with a total of 1,025 Pokemon. What was your first favorite Pokemon?
My first favorite Pokemon was Blaziken because he's essentially just a chicken, a bipedal chicken who can pretty much use kickboxing. So he's literally just a kickboxing chicken, and that's cool to me because he's a fire and fighting type, which even though the community does not really like those 2 types specifically in one Pokemon, but I think it's really cool.
All right. I would say for me, my first favorite Pokemon is got to be Diglett. I remember when I first laid eyes on him in the Indigo League series, it was just like, he was just a small guy. He was just so cool. I have no other way to describe him, to be honest, but he's just a small, basic Pokemon. Now, what is your current favorite Pokemon?
My current favorite Pokemon is Incineroar because of 3 things. Number 1, he's a cat, which is one of my favorite animals. Number 2, being that he's based off wrestling. So stuff like WWE, AEW, NXT, and in his description, he's labeled as the heel Pokemon, which if you guys don't know, in wrestling, a heel pretty much means the villain of a story. And I think that's pretty cool.
For me, I gotta go, I recently only got into Pokemon again recently. So I've just been looking at the Pokemon Poliwhirl a lot. So he's just become my favorite Pokemon, and he's just the guy I really want to get right now in the trading card game. But, we'll get into that later. That being said, which Pokemon would you want by your side?
A Pokemon that I would want by my side is definitely Rotom. And with Rotom, what he can do is turn himself into really anything. So for example, this microphone that I'm using to speak to you guys, he can turn into that, as well as a phone, a dishwasher, lawnmower, a stove, anything, even a phone.
A stove?
Yeah.
You can turn to a stove?
Yeah, that's one of his forms.
I think for me, I've been like putting a little thought into it, like literally just now. So it's either a balance between Ditto or Lechonk. Because Ditto, he's kind of like what you said, except he could kind of just turn into any Pokemon he wants. But Lechonk is just a pig. It's just a fat, small pig, you know? if we're gonna talk about the shows and our favorite Pokemon, we gotta talk about the games. So, what was the first Pokemon game you've ever played?
The first ever game that I played was Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy Color, and I absolutely loved the game because I remember my mom getting it, and I put so many time and effort into it. But unfortunately, I can no longer find it, so it's just lost in time.
For me, I don't remember exactly, but I do remember going over to my friend's house one time, and he gave me his Game Boy Advance SP, and I was like, "What is this?" He's like, "Oh, it's Pokemon." I remember before that, I do remember, but that was like my first like introduction to the games, and I don't remember exactly which one it was. I just remember it was just really cool, like walking around and stuff like that. Talking about the games, actually, the latest Nintendo Direct actually announced two new Pokemon games. One being Pokemon, I think Legends ZA,
Yes, Pokemon Legends ZA.
which is like your basic new Pokemon game. They release like every once in a while, which is kind of crazy because they announced a new DLC already for a game that didn't even come out yet,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny to me. Other than that, we also got Pokopia, which a lot of people, it's got a bunch of mixed reactions in there.
Yeah, because it's essentially Animal Crossing, another series by Nintendo, and Pokemon, except instead of playing as a human who has to take care of an island, you play as a Pokemon yourself. Ditto.
But he takes the form of like this human girl, and it has like this weird feel to it.
Yeah, because when Ditto transforms into a Pokemon or a human, his face is just stuck on that exact
Yeah,
thing.
he has like this same derpy smile.
Yeah, so he can't really like if he were to turn into like a Pikachu, he won't have like the well, he'll have the cheeks and everything, like the red cheeks, but he won't have like the exact like face of Pikachu. It'll just be his own.
Talking about what is it, Ditto? I remember it kind of reminds me of that movie. I'm not sure if people watch this because people out there who are not even fans of Pokemon, they know what I mean, maybe, by the movie Detective Pikachu. I remember when I watched that and there was like this Ditto that transformed into like a human, and it looked pretty weird. In general, I just wanted to talk about Detective Pikachu as well because like Mewtwo's voice in that movie and like how it's basically, in my opinion, what Pokemon would be like if they were real. Like there's like underground fights. Some societies live in harmony with Pokemon. That being said, if we're gonna talk about the games, we also got to talk about another important aspect:
The cards.
the cards. So, some people buy the trading cards to collect them. Some others buy them to play the game. What do you like to do?
I like to buy the cards just to collect them because it's fun to have like all the like neat artwork and everything just there in your collection. It's pretty cool.
All right. For me, I like to, well, actually, I would say over the summer, I recently got into Pokemon again. And I was going to buy them to collect, but then I recently got into like the trading card game itself. To put it simply, to put it lightly, right? Both you and another opponent would have a deck full of 60 cards. You shuffle said deck. You take 7 cards. This will be your hand. All right. And then you take 6 more cards and you put them to your left onto the side. This will act as your life pretty much. And any basic Pokemon you have in your card, you put it on face down in the middle. And that will be the Pokemon you use to start the battle. Then any other basic Pokemon you put on in the back as backup Pokemon for when this fighting Pokemon gets knocked out. And in order to win, pretty much, you just have to knock out 6 of your opponent's Pokemon in battle. But you also have to be careful because every turn you have to take a card, to keep the ball rolling, keep the strategy going. And if you run out of cards to pull out from your deck, then you lose automatically. That, or if you don't have any backup Pokemon to like play after your active gets knocked out. If we're, people, when they play the game, they like to play to collect. But if people are going to play the game, they gotta look good playing it. So that being said, what's the rarest card you got?
The rarest card that I have is a 1999 base set Blastoise Holo, which, if you don't know, a Holo was the biggest craze that people were looking for those specific cards. And one card in mind that people wanted so bad was a Charizard.
The shiny Charizard card.
Yes, the shiny Charizard. Everybody wanted it. And I thought I had it, but no, I had a Blastoise one, which, I mean, it's technically the same, but it's just a different Pokemon.
But like that Charizard, everybody wants that Charizard card.
Yeah, everyone wants
something
it.
about it is just I still don't know really. What's kind of crazy to me is that when people collect Pokemon cards or like packs and stuff in general, there's like apparently you could buy Pokemon packs like straight from the Pokemon Center. And those packs are actually more rare just because the promotional card has like a little Pokemon logo.
Yeah, they have the like. Well, I'll say it's like a little like a stamp of approval.
Yeah, which is like it means it's official, and that itself makes it like $100 more than like the original card, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy to me. But other than that, people would also get up to the point of like there would be like an original 1999 sealed box of like, Pokemon cards, and
Mhm.
people would keep it sealed and sell it for like higher and higher prices despite not opening it because
Yeah.
of what could be inside, which is kind of crazy to me because I don't know why you keep reselling a box for like $500.
Or at most like 1,000. I've seen, and that Charizard on the back to the topic of the Charizard, it goes for a lot of money, like because of Logan Paul. If everyone knows who that is, or if not, he was pretty much the one who started the whole trend of like Pokemon getting popularity again. And that one Charizard is worth $250,000, a quarter of a million, which is a lot.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? I thought it was gonna be worth like, I don't know, like 10K or something.
Oh no, that's only if I forgot to mention there's a thing called PSA.
So PSA is what he said is actually a company that grades cards based on like the condition it is in. So like you'd send in a card, I guess like I'd say like a Pikachu card, right?
Mhm.
You'd send one of those into the company and they would like grade it based on like any scratches or marks. And if it's like in perfect mint condition, it would be graded on the point system from 1 to 10. The slightest scratch on a card would lower it from 10 to like 9.
Yeah, and a 9 is still good, and I believe there's a 9.5, but not everyone wants that. They want like a perfect 10.
Which is like impossible. I mean, not all the time. It's just kind of crazy to get a perfect 10 because your card has to be like sealed perfectly with no scratches in any corners because they inspect everything.
Yeah, they inspect every single detail.
And like this goes for, I'm pretty sure this goes for other trading cards.
Yeah,
If I'm not-
it goes for other trading cards.
like other trading card games. So that being said, what is a dream card that you want if you haven't gotten it already?
A dream card that I want to get soon is a Primal Groudon EX. More specifically, it's shiny. So with Primal Groudon, with that one, its regular form is just red, black with a little bit of like yellow and gold in it. But with the shiny, which is why I want it, because it's simply clean, black, black and all gold, everything, and that's what makes it cool.
All right. For me, it's got to be the Poliwhirl SIR. SIR, by the way, is short for Special Illustration Rare, which is a chase card. Now, chase cards are pretty much special variants of something. And it also doesn't just apply to Pokemon cards. It could be applied to like Funko Pops.
Yeah, it can be Funko Pops, even like little like not Funko Pops, but just like little like vinyl figures, keychains, I think stickers probably.
Yeah, like special variants of something.
Yeah.
It could just be like a different picture, a different pose or something for figures. But that being said, yeah, special illustration rare for Poliwhirl on the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 151. Which, by the way, I think Scarlet and Violet is like the most, like, I guess, popular recent Pokemon thing.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's like multiple Pokemon packets that have each of their own special chase cards, which makes getting each pack valuable. So there's the most recent one, Prismatic Evolutions. Then there's also Surging Sparks, Temporal Forces.
Yeah, Destined Rivals, like he pretty much mentioned Prismatic Evolutions. That when that came out, everybody wanted them. It was bad.
It was
like,
the newest one, right?
yeah, it was the newest one, and it got so bad that like places like Costco, as soon as they like took out like the pallets for it, everybody was swarming it trying to get their hands on it.
People were just throwing straight hands. It got to a point where they had to like limit like 3 boxes or something per person or per customer. And like I didn't think it would get that bad.
Yeah, because they'll get like full like shopping carts and just fill it to the brim with like all these like boxes, and they'll just resell it for like thousands of dollars, and it just made it unfair for people who actually want to like collect and play the game.
And that's what like sucks about like like modern times, because there are scalpers and they actually buy like this could, also apply to anything, right? Like collectible figures and stuff like that. They would buy something from an official company, and they would basically, let's say something cost $20. They would buy it and resell it for like an extra 50, which would be like $70.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can't even buy 6 packs in total without spending over like $100.
And worse if it's like a card that you really wanted and it's like from, we'll say 2015, so like 10 years ago, right? If you just want that one card, you're going to have to pay a hefty fee.
You're gonna have to pay a pretty penny right there.
Yeah, because they'll charge a lot for it.
But that being said, you can still buy like packs themselves. There's still like a few booster packs.
Yeah, there's still a couple.
There's still a few lying around here and there. And they also, for some reason, do a collaboration with McDonald's like every year.
Yeah, they do it with McDonald's every year, and a lot of random stuff too, I believe.
They did like a Halloween themed Pokemon cards.
Yeah, even Mario, I remember.
Actually?
Yeah, because it was, I believe, 2 promotional ones. So it was Pikachu dressed up as Mario, and the other one dressed as Luigi.
I didn't know that.
And there's even ones where they dress up as like Pikachu, where he'll dress up in like Team Rocket.
That's pretty cool. I remember one special Pokemon card that I really wanted to get, even when I wasn't into Pokemon, was when the Detective Pikachu movie came out. You'd go to like a theater and they'd give you like a Detective Pikachu Pokemon card, which is pretty cool. I would have had that sealed. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I think recently I've purchased a white flare, which is just another type of Pokemon pack. I bought it in an Elite Trainer box. An Elite Trainer box, by the way, there's just like a regular pack, booster packs. There's the tin boxes, the big boxes.
Yeah.
And an Elite Trainer box is just basically what you need to play against another opponent, like I said.
Oh no, one thing too, I don't know if they still do it, but from this one pack, this one Elite Trainer box, or an ETB, as its abbreviation, it also came with like the little play mat, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, I remember they sometimes they do that. They have like a whole like tournament.
Yeah, it was a whole like
or an arena kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it helps you like place the cards in like their, I guess, I don't know what that would be
like
called.
their respected area. So like the deck that you have to like take from would be on the left, and it would be like outlined too. The coin, we have to like you have to flip a coin to see whose turn it is.
So for our final question, we have, if anyone wanted to get into Pokemon, how would you suggest they dive in?
I would suggest going into the like getting into the cards really, because I feel like you can collect a bunch and see like for example, if you like Sylveon, which is one of my favorite of the evolutions, aka the Eevee evolutions. And if you get that card, you can be like, oh, this is cool. I wonder what episodes they show up in. You can go through the Pokemon anime and see which ones they appear in. And I think that's pretty cool.
I think for me, I would recommend watching Indigo League, because that's where they have that's where all of the original 151 Pokemon popped up. Or you got guys like Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charizard. They're all in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people would probably hear them there.
Or, which I honestly didn't know, you can get into the manga.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a manga too.
Yeah, there's a Pokemon manga. And if you like reading manga, you can get into that. Oh, manga is a form of,
I guess, books.
Yeah, well, not, I'll say like comics. It's like a Japanese comic where instead of the book being, is it left to right?
It was, instead of being read left to right, it's read right to left.
Yeah, it's read right to left. So normally with a normal book, you would you'd read it where it shows the cover. But with a manga, you'd have to read it from the back.
Which it is a little weird at first.
Yeah.
But you get used to it. That being said, other than Indigo League, I would also agree with Ronaldo, about getting into the trading card games. Like, if my explanation of the card game wasn't confusing, I would say it's like, once you start playing into a few battles, you start explaining to yourself each of the rules. And then that from there, you start to get curious about oh, I wonder what other Pokemon I could collect. Because I recently started getting into, like I said earlier, and I got other Pokemon. And I got this guy called Landorus, which is actually part of a trio, which is Thundurus, Landorus, and Tornadus. I currently have, I think, Tornadus and Landorus. I remember when I tried searching up like what do they, because like I forget that the Pokemon in the franchise in general, they usually just like they yell out their name and stuff.
Yeah.
So you hear Pikachu just yell out, "Oh, Pikachu" and stuff like that. So I'm like, how does Landorus say his name? I searched it up and he just growls. And
No,
like,
yeah,
roars.
that's how they say their names really in the games. It's like a pixelated like scream.
Which I didn't. I thought it was like a little weird at first because the way I saw him in the card form was that he had like this genie kind of pose, and it
No,
wasn't
yeah.
like the animal form.
No, yeah, they have well, it's not really a genie. It's with those two, if Tornadus and Thunderous, they're both based off of the Japanese yokai, I believe, Raijin and Fujin. And I think that is really cool how Pokemon actually bases like certain characters or creatures off of things in the real world.
I just find it funny how like recently, before it was like more so their own take on like animals. Like I don't know what a Bulbasaur is based on like a real creature, but then I remember how like at some point when I wasn't interested, I just see like, oh, they got like a giraffe Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
and the Lechonk, and there's the apple one you mentioned.
Yeah, Applin.
Like what is it? There's so much variety in Pokemon that like you could really get into it in like any point. Like Pokemon has actually come like such a long way from like its released in 1996 up to now. It's been running for like a good 30 years, I say.
Yeah, 30 something years. It's going on for a while actually, and I'm surprised.
Man, I can't wait to see what they do for like its 30th anniversary if we haven't gotten past that yet.
I No, I don't think we have gotten it past it.
I don't know if we have. 35th? I wonder how far we're going to go. We're just going to have to see what other Pokemon they come up with, And you
Right.
best believe I'll be like one of those guys at the Costco videos. That being said, to wrap it up, thank you guys for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys later. Thank you for having me again, by the way.
Thank you for having me too.